Okie dokie boys and girls, so today we have a pull workout, front lever holds, and it's gonna be the same style as yesterday. If you remember yesterday, for the planche, I did 5 seconds of 20 seconds hold. Now, that was quite fucking insane because I'm not even able to hold the planche for 20 seconds. The point of that workout was to take, the goal amount of seconds I want to be able to hold the full planche and do that for 5 sets, no matter what, in drop set fashion, no matter what progression. So if I wasn't able to hold full planche anymore, I dropped down to straddle planche, I dropped down to tuck planche even, basically just to get to 20 seconds each set. And it was so fucking insane and difficult. Today I'm doing the same for front lever, but I suspect it's gonna be even more difficult, even more intense than yesterday, because for front lever my goal is not 20 seconds, my goal is 45 seconds. So these sets are gonna be insanely long, insanely difficult to recover from, and it's gonna be insanely difficult to hold on when I'm fucking tired, even in tuck, right? I might just have to go to dead hang as a progression, who knows? But I'm actually quite fucking nervous for this. This is one of those trainings, maybe I'm going in the wrong direction again, doing too much training basically, but at the same time, 45 seconds is so fucking difficult for me to reach as a hold in front lever. And this training will not allow any room to just run away to like easier things, right? You're just there on the bar for 45 seconds, you have to hold on, and it's your job to basically not fall. And I quite like that idea behind the training. That's kind of the philosophy, there is nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, there is no band to assist you, there is no weight to give you an excuse that it's harder. No, it's just fucking body weight, 45 seconds for 5 sets. And in the same fashion as yesterday, I'm gonna do 1 set every 10 minutes. So it's basically gonna be like 9 minutes of rest. So yeah, I'm gonna get in the zone and get ready, because my lats are already fucking sore from all the greasing the groove. But nonetheless, we're gonna get this done. Alright, so I broke down a tiny bit at the end, but that was 40 fucking seconds of front lever, and it's been years since I've been able to do that. And guess what? Not an excuse, just my lats were sore before I even started. 40 seconds, yes! Holy shit! How the fuck am I gonna do 2 more sets? Let's find out in 10 minutes. Okay, so one thing I'm starting to understand more and more is that in the front lever, you have to kind of try to relax, You have to kind of feel like you're floating. Because what I used to do, and that's especially for pull-ups and this and that, is just have everything as tight as possible. And while that's good for power, because when everything's tight, you can exert power more easily. Like when it comes to endurance, it's kind of about not wasting any power, and it's more efficient to basically keep your body as loose as possible. So I'm not pointing my toes anymore, I'm not flexing my legs anymore, I'm just letting it float, and it allows me to just save power. And even if I feel tired, I'm able to push through in the front lever. That's something I'm really starting to understand doing all these holds. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to do it a little bit better, in the coming days as well. and get those 5 extra seconds to get to the 45-second hold. And I think it will come in handy for you as well, because when you're trying to unlock the front lever, it's purely power. But let's say you have 10 seconds of a front lever hold and you're trying to get 20 seconds, or on any progression basically, you're trying to get like above 10 seconds. At some point, you're gonna have to start saving your power. So in that case, relax, or try to relax as much as possible. Act like you're sleeping in the front lever. That's kind of the feeling you want to have. So, all right, I have 6 fucking more minutes. Can you believe it? I'll see you when it's over. Ah, one more. Oh, whew. Holy fucking shit. Okay, so have a quick guess on whether I'm pumped or not. I mean, it's not even a fucking question. And keep in mind, I only did static exercises up until this point in the workout. But that doesn't matter. Even if this were the end of the workout, holy shit. Even if this were the end of the workout, I would still go on to recover and build muscle from this, because holy shit, the intensity was up the wazoo. This was insane. And I say the workout is not at its end yet, but the front lever part is. I mean, at this point, I do not need to stimulate my lats with the same movement more than I already have. 5 sets, 45 seconds of time under tension. That's 3.5 minutes plus 3 minutes 45 seconds, if my math is correct, of just holding the front lever. That's insane. I'm so fucking happy with that, to be honest. But yeah, my lats are tight as hell. Like, even if I do this, I can just feel my lats. They're tight as hell. So I don't want to put even more pressure on them with the front lever. Instead, what I'm gonna do is, just like yesterday, after the main exercise, right, I did those supinated push-ups to get a quick pump and get the blood flowing again, to basically alleviate some of the stress that I put on my muscles. I'm gonna do the same right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do some pull-ups. And actually, what I want to do with those pull-ups is not only get some more blood flow going, even though I'm pumped to shit already, but also what I want to do, and there you can see, butt keep. Alright, I want to use this as a way to stretch my lats. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use a wide grip, because then you can see, the angle of my arm and my lats is less than when I use a bit of a smaller or a less wide grip. Now you can see the angle is getting bigger. I'm having more of a stretch. And in between, I'll put my head between my arms so that, my arms go backward even more. And I get a good stretch between my lats, So that's gonna the stretching part, that's gonna alleviate basically the stress that's now on my body. It's just like a normal stretch, if you, go running and you stretch your calves, you will notice the stress going away. You will notice getting the calf looser again. It's the same principle here. Instead, I'm doing some pull-ups with it as well. So I'm gonna do this for 2 sets. Not take 10 minutes in between, but rather like 3 minutes, I'll set a timer for like basically go off every 4 minutes, and then I'll use the remainder as a rest time, so it's gonna be like 3 minutes, and that's gonna be good. So let's see here, there you go. Let's do some stretching. Alright, 10 pull-ups like that is enough. One more set, and then we're done. Okie dokie, so that's it for today's training, and my lats feel a bit better, less tight than before, but still I've got some work to do today to get those loosened up for basically the next training. But today is not over, believe it or not. The video is over, but in the night, or tonight, I will get back in this training room to do a couple more holds of the front lever, because that's the point of greasing the groove, right? You do it, you do your stuff, your thing that you want to train, you do it throughout the day, multiple times a day, and for me, you know, it usually just ends up being a couple sets in the morning, a couple sets at night, and calling it a day. But yeah, the reason that I'm gonna continue doing greasing groove with front lever and not with planche is basically, well, for planche it was not working, and for front lever it is. And why is that? Well, I have my assumptions. Like, for me, the planche has not as much of a base as the front lever. Front lever I can hold, well, for 40 seconds apparently. You know, I have a base there. If I do the front lever every day, it doesn't take that much of my power. Whereas, you know, even if I do only 30% of my maximum hold on the planche, basically I'm still putting out a lot of power, because, you know, the planche itself requires more of a percentage of my power than the front lever, if you get what I'm saying there. But that's just an assumption. It all boils just down to one thing is working, the other one is not. You know, I threw planche GTG, or greasing the groove, at the wall, it didn't stick. For front lever, it did stick, so I keep using it, right? It did work, so I keep using it. And, you know, something that I think is playing a part as well is planche has less of an influence on front lever than front lever has on planche. Because if you train planche a lot, your biceps get tired, and your forearms get a bit tired, and your shoulders get very tired, right? But that doesn't really affect the front lever in many ways, because it's not really the gripping muscles from the front lever that get tired in your forearm either, so it's like completely different. However, when you do the front lever, what gets tired? The thing that gets tired most is your lats. And your lats you actually need in the planche to, you know, to keep yourself tight, to basically keep yourself up. You need to get in tight, you need some back power in the planche to basically hold it. And if you don't have that tightness, well, then your planche hold is gonna suffer, you know, more load is gonna come on your shoulders, this and that, it's gonna be more difficult. So that might also be a reason that, for me, I can't grease the groove them both at once. But, you know, once the front lever goal is done, who knows, the greasing the groove for planche might just come back for the planche. But anyway, for today, I would definitely say try this fucking workout. It's fun, trust me. You know, I might seem like I'm suffering out there when I'm training, but this was one of my favorite workouts in a long time. Just like yesterday, you know, these workouts where you just go to your max and then you do it again and again and again, right? I fucking love those. And if you're aiming to improve your hold in the front lever, why not give this a go, you know? And also, like, I did 45 seconds sits today, but if your goal is like 20 seconds, of course, go for 20-second sits. And if you don't want to just do it for your hold, but you just want to build endurance in general, well, you don't have to just do only holds, right? You can do the same principle of, getting to a sit of like 20 seconds or however many seconds you want, and doing pull-ups and presses and raises and whatever you want to do. For the planche as well, you can do push-ups and presses, maybe even dynamic planche holds, just whatever gets you to 20 seconds, right? You're gonna build endurance. And if you do it for hold only, you're gonna build hold endurance. If you do it with like combos, you're gonna build combo endurance. And I think it's very nice. So that's it for today's training. I'm gonna have a shower and some breakfast. Hopefully get these lats a bit loosened up, and see you tomorrow for a leg day. So that's it.